I'm going to show you one more village. This village is another way, 500 kilometers from Kiev, and a village with history, and a village which is very different from the villages you saw. Rich Ukrainian agriculture, great fields, wonderful sceneries, and rich Ukrainian land. That's the specialization of major villages in Ukraine, plus cattle farming. It's a huge village for present standards of Ukrainian villages. There are around 3,000 people living in the village, and different types of houses. Some houses are for sale, and some houses are well kept, and there are lots of utilities in the houses, and people are hardworking and really outstanding in this village. There was even a garden where people were growing trees for feeding silkworms. They were producing silkworms here. That was an experiment in Soviet agriculture, producing silk. It was actually a funny experiment, and it didn't succeed, unfortunately. Remaining parts of cattle farming here, big industrial cattle farming, not anymore. Now the village has several small farmers that are producing things, and here is a school which is behind these trees. We can't see it much, but there is a modern school as well, and children come on their buses to this school because there is a good teaching facility and actually good school. As always, there is a bus station in the village, and there are buses cruising to the main regional center, which is Khmelnytsky. So here we see a beautiful, well-kept and very nice house, and as usual, beautiful flowers everywhere, which every hostess is proud of. People grow industrial rabbits for meat. I'm sorry guys, if you are into animals, this is not so green. So this hospitable hostess welcomes us into her house, and we will see her trees. I don't want to go inside, but we will see around the house, and we will see that beautiful park behind. It used to belong to the huge landlord 100 years ago, and the whole village was a masterpiece. Well, it was. It's now a village that is more or less surviving, and people are coming here, some of them for vacation. If you have kids and your mother is around 60 years old, you let your kids go to the village to enjoy the beautiful scenery and breathe the fresh air. There is usually a garden with apple trees and plum trees. That's about it. Apples and plums, that's what we grow. Sometimes apricots, but apricots don't produce too much in this region. They are very delicate. It's usually too cold for them in spring. Here is an example of a garden that people keep here. When you're saying to a Ukrainian, I have a house and land around it, this is what a person would imagine, that there are vegetable patches. Here we grow onions and tomatoes, and a lot of work around here. When you are talking to a Ukrainian lady about your specific house, you should show her pictures, because she will, when she thinks land, when she thinks you have territory, that's what she imagines. And most probably this is what she will turn your territory into if she starts living with you. Probably, if she wants to. This is a famous marketplace in the village. this whole area was used as a marketplace, and every Thursday there is a market because people want to sell their stuff, but they don't only sell the produce they have, cheese, meat, butter. They also sell cows, goats, animals, those little rabbits, and whatever they have in the households. And there are certain days when all this area is occupied because people from all over the villages are coming and they are selling different merchandise. We've met some friends here, and here's the old beautiful park. So people have income from farming here, producing whatever they can, eggs, meat, butter. Lots of households are growing pigs here. They would have a big barn. I'll show you later. People build new houses here too, and these people used to work in Moscow, and they came back, and here they have their homeland. By the way, there are also lots of storks here, but they are so messy, so people protect their houses from the storks. But actually, it's good luck when you have a stork on your house. Another typical house for the Podillia region. Now this house is empty, but I wanted to see it because this shows perfectly the way houses were arranged historically in this part of the region, in this part of Ukraine. Podillia is known for its fertile land, beautiful animals, very hardworking people, and the household was organized this way. In front of us we can see the barn for animals and the house, and a typical Podillia design, and of course gorgeous, wonderful, beautiful flowers. People actually live here. Not too many come for just a vacation, so that's why you can see bigger houses, bigger fences, and bigger households, and louder dogs, of course. This whole village is very widely expanded around the land, because lots of people and lots of hardworking, kind, good, generous, and great people with phenomenal sense of humor. This street in the village, in the 500-year-old village, the street was put in the 50s, the 60s. New families got their lands, and it was planned differently, because in other villages we saw narrow streets, house to house, but here we can see large pieces of land, very wide road, and very well-kept households. This is due to the policy of the Soviet Union to show rich people, well, maybe give some opportunity, but usually a family would be given about half a hectare of land, sometimes a hectare of a land to build a house and have their vegetable patches and potato garden. But some few people have smaller pieces, because if people have dachas, it's about 1 or 2 acres of land in the equivalent. But if people have their proper farming real estate, well, so to say, not so much farming but living real estate, then it's a bigger piece of land. As you can see, we have cows here. They are now in the field. Very different from the villages we saw before. People also have to produce a lot of hay. So all the gardens, all the fruit gardens are also used for growing grass and depositing hay for the cows for the winter. Because more or less, I should say, it is green farming when it comes to dairy products for the people. People feed their cows primarily with hay, with grass, and it's natural. It's the way it is here. It's only in the industrial farming when they use some prepared foods. richer, nicer, cooler, better household in the village. I forgot to say that we also grow lots of cherry trees. We have sweet cherries and we have sour cherries, and those are different cherries. And because sweet cherries are good for making compote, drinks, soft drinks, but sour cherries are good for dumplings and for pies, and they are very, very, very delicious. And here you can see cherry trees near the house of our distant relative. But since people don't live in this house, it differs from the houses you saw a couple of minutes ago. One more thing I want to pay your attention to is water system. This village used to have well-developed plumbing. Yes, unusual for the village, because right there, a little house forward, right here. That little house was one of the water pumps locations, and there was a big stream of water that was used as a source, and the whole village had their water. Well, there was no gas in the Soviet times. We only got gasification in this village in the late 90s, but the water was here. Well, that's an unusual thing for the village, for sure. This is exactly what I was talking about, the stork, the luck of the house. But now this stork is lucky to have his house on a pole and not on the house. Now, this is the house of a rich farmer I was talking about. We're coming to visit the guy. So, some of his machines, he's got a big, we call it combine, the agricultural machine. Besides this one, he's got some others. He is the greatest, the biggest, and the most hardworking farmer in this village. And they also grow pigs. They have a little shop for selling generally merchandise and some bread, some foods, some groceries. Not only production from the farm. They don't sell it here. But we are coming to visit, we are coming to see. I'm going to show you how a good Ukrainian person can live if he works hard, if his family is helping, and if they do a lot of things for their life. I love flowers, and I'm proud of our Ukrainian women who take their pride in the flowers they grow. So we will see the barns. Here, this is a barn used for storage, and mainly this is stuff for feeding the pigs. They produce pigs, and they have all the corn, and they make the food for their pigs. We're gonna see the pigs. Here is Her Majesty. This is the mother pig, as far as I understand. Doesn't smell good, but it's farm. This is Her Majesty cow, the milk producer. Hello, baby. So here we can see the remaining pigs. Well, there is only one left, but they certainly had more. So, yes, hello, baby. Here is a creative way to use your truck that isn't functioning. Yes, they are hungry, so they believe I'm going to give them some food. But babies, I'll do it later. So, the patches. This is a fertilizer that we use for our farming. Yes, I told you, it's organic farming, so the fertilizers are real as well. And the beautiful garden with everything you need for yourself, plus maybe something for sale. But people don't sell it here from this household because they have family.